Good afternoon, students. Today class I am going to discuss about the expressions for three variables, that is expression for maximum height, expression for time of flight and expression for range. So based on the same projectile, so we can know that when a body is projected with an angle with respect to horizontal, it traverses a path called projectile. Is it right? Yes. Now the same thing we are going to take here. We should draw the diagram by considering a projectile. For example, it is projected with a velocity u at an angle theta. What happens? It traverses a path. So along x axis, the velocity is divided into ux, that is called what? U cos theta, and acceleration is 0 because the particle move with uniform velocity along x axis. Along y axis, uy is equals to u sin theta and ay is equals to minus g. Now here, when a particle is moving in this direction, its horizontal component remains constant throughout its journey, whereas the vertical component changes. Here this is ux and uy is 0. Now what we have to calculate maximum height. So what we can say that the maximum, what is maximum height ma? The maximum vertical distance, the maximum vertical distance travelled by a projectile. The maximum vertical distance travelled by a projectile is called what? Maximum height. Is it right? So I want to calculate the expression for maximum height. We should consider which motion? Vertical motion. We should consider what ma? Vertical motion. So here vertical distance, it is travelling as what? S is equals to h. With what velocity is projected? Initial velocity is what? U is equals to uy, that is equals to what? U sin theta. Along vertical direction, what is the acceleration? Ay is equals to minus g. Is it right? And what is the final velocity? V is equals to vy. At the maximum height, its velocity becomes what? 0. So vy is equals to 0. Now we have these quantities, what? V, u, as. So from kinematic equations of motion, we have three equations. In that we are taking the equation what? Vu as, right? What is that? V square minus u square is equals to what? 2as. What is v square? 0. U square is what? U square sin square theta is equals to 2 into minus g into h is h. Sorry, s is h. Now we get minus u square sin square theta is equals to what ma? Minus 2gh, minus minus cancel. What do you get? H is equals to u square sin square theta by 2g. So this is the expression for what? Maximum height. So what is maximum height? The maximum vertical distance travelled by projectile is called what? Maximum height. So during projectile motion, we are calculating only vertical distance. So we are considering the vertical points. What are the vertical points? The distance, assume that the distance travelled by this projectile to reach this point is what? H. We are considering maximum height as what ma? H. So s is equals to h. With what velocity is moving in vertical direction? U sin theta. What is acceleration along vertical direction? Minus g, and final velocity is 0. So from kinematic equation of motion, we should know the relation between these four quantities. What is that? V, U, as. V square minus u square equals to 2as. What is v square? 0. What is u? Minus u square sin square theta. 2as is what? Minus 2gh. Minus minus cancel. H is equals to what? U square sin square theta by 2g. Now If theta is equals to 0 means I projected the particle along the horizontal, means this is the projection, right? Then can it travel vertical distance? No. What happens then? If theta is equals to 0, h is equals to what? U square sin square 0 by 2g, that is equals to what? 0. Means when we project a body along the horizontal, it cannot reach maximum height. So maximum distance is what? 0. When it is maximum? When you project vertically, right? So when you project like this with a velocity u, then what happens? It reaches maximum height. So theta is equals to 90. This is horizontal. With respect to horizontal, we project with an angle 90 degrees. Substituting the value, what do you get, ma? H is equals to u square sin square 90 by 2g, that is equals to what? U square by 2g. So that is the expression for what? Maximum height. So this is expression for maximum height. Clear? Very important for 3 marks. Next one is what? We are going to derive the expression for time of flight. What is time of flight? When you project a body, for example, this is a body, you project a body. Assume that this is straight line motion. The time taken by a body to reach maximum height is called what? T suffix a. What is T suffix a? Time of ascent. Here the velocity goes on, decreases and finally comes to 0. Then again it falls to the ground. The time taken by a body to reach the ground is called what? TD. What is TD? Time of descent. The total time in which the body remains in air is called what? Time of flight. So that is expression for time of flight we are going to derive. So what is time of flight? The time in which a body remains in air. The time in which a body remains in air is called time of flight. Now the same diagram you should draw each and every time, for because 1 mark for diagram. If you won't draw, you won't lose the 1 mark. This is x axis and this is y axis. Let us project a body with a initial velocity u. Now it reaches the path like this. Its component are divided into 2 components, ux, uy. You know ux is as usual u cos theta, uy is u sin theta. Ax is 0, ay is minus g. Okay. Now time of flight is what? The time in which a body remains in air. See, a body is positioned here and at time t0 and reaches the surface after time t. So in this it travels only vertical distance. Is it right? So at time t, what is vertical displacement? It has only after t time it reaches the ground. So it travels only horizontal distance, vertical distance becomes 0 because it is not in air, it comes to this surface. So what happens? After time t, the vertical displacement of the object is 0 or projectile is 0. So distance travelled by projectile distance travelled by a projectile. So what is that? S is equals to ut plus of at square. Here which distance we are considering? Vertical distance, because here vertical displacement is what, ma? 0. I can write here as S is equals to y, that is equals to what? 0. U is equals to uy, that is what, u sin theta. Ay is equals to what, minus g. Substitute the same things, 0 uy u sin theta into t minus of, sorry, this is capital T because time of flight only consider, right, g t square. So sin of g t square here, what do you get, half g t square is equals to what, u sin theta into t. T cancel, 2 send here. If you send 2 here, it becomes 2u sin theta. If you send g here, what becomes, 2u sin theta by g. So this is the expression for time of flight. So what is time of flight? The time in which a body remains in air. So when you project a projectile from here, it travels in air, finally reaches the ground. So there is net horizontal displacement. But what about the vertical displacement? Here it increases to h and comes to 0. At what time we are considering that is considered as time of flight. So after time t, called time of flight, vertical displacement is 0. Vertical distance travel project is what? S is equals to ut plus of at square. If you want, S can be written as y, uyt plus of ayt square. So here in this condition, displacement is 0. Which displacement? Horizontal displacement is there, but vertical displacement what? 0. Uy is u sin theta, ay is minus z. Substituting these things, 0 is equals to u sin theta into t minus of gt square. Send minus here, it becomes plus of gt square is equals to u sin theta into capital T. T cancel, t is equals to what? 2u sin theta by g. So this is the expression for what? Time of flight. Right? Next one is what? Expression for range. What is range? The range is defined as, if it is travel vertical distance, that is called what? Height or maximum height. Here, when you project a projectile, we can define this as the maximum horizontal distance, traveled by a projectile. The maximum horizontal distance traveled by a projectile is called range. The maximum horizontal distance traveled by a projectile is called what? Range. So we should calculate maximum horizontal distance traveled by the projectile in this case, right? Same thing. What that? So it is represented by letter capital R. So let us take the same thing, what? An axis, y axis, this is x axis, projected with some velocity u, it travels both like this. Now in a time t, the horizontal distance traveled is assumed at r. Okay, as usual, uy is equals to u sin theta, ay is equals to minus g, ux is equals to u cos theta, ax is equals to 0. So here after time t, let us consider maximum distance traveled by a projectile in time of flight. We know very well time of flight is what? Capital T is r. Then horizontal distance traveled is equals to what? S is equals to ut plus of at square. That implies x is equals to uxt plus half axt square. Here, what is the horizontal distance traveled by projectile? X is equals to range r. Next, ux is equals to u cos theta, small t is equals to capital T and Ax is equals to 0. Yes. Now substitute the values. R is equals to u cos theta into t plus half into 0 into t square. So this total term becomes 0. I can write as, now only we derive what that time of flight. Is it right? What is time of flight, ma? Time of flight t is equals to what you got? 2u sin theta by g. What is that? 2u, since t is equals to 2u sin theta by g, I can write this as what? 2u sin theta by g. U into u square into 2 sin theta cos theta by g. So there is a trigonometric formula for us to sin 2x is equals to 2 sin x into cos x. So here 2 sin theta into cos theta, 2 sin x into cos x can be written as what? Sin 2x. So we can write as 2 sin theta into cos theta as what? Sin 2 theta. So I can written as the range formula as u square sin 2 theta by g. So you should not confuse for height and range, because height is what? U square sin square theta by 2g, whereas range u square sin 2 theta by g. Let us take, if theta is equals to 0, range is u square sin 0 by g, 0. When it is maximum? When theta is 45. When you project at an angle 45 degrees with respect to horizontal, then range is maximum, because r is equals to u square sin 2 into 45 by g. So sin 90 is 1. What do you get? U square by g. So range is maximum when it is projected with an angle 45 degrees, and the height is maximum when it is projected at an angle 90 degrees. Now let us say relation between R maximum and H maximum. Means this is useful for problems. What is R maximum? Here on it is right. R maximum is equals to u square by g. What about H maximum? H maximum is equals to u square by 2g. So instead of u square by g, what we can write? So this is note means important for problem point of view. U square by g means u square by g I can write as what? R maximum. So what you can write? H maximum is equals to R maximum by 2. There is one more relation, that is relation between H and R, not maximum height, maximum range. What is R? U square sin 2 theta by g. We will expand here. U square, what is sin 2 theta? 2 sin theta into cos theta by g. What about height? Height is equals to u square sin square theta by 2g. This is equation number 1, this is equation number 2. Divide these two. Means 2 by 1. H by R is equals to u square sin square theta by 2g reciprocal g by u square into 2 sin theta into cos theta. G cancel, u square also cancel, 1 sin theta cancel. What is remaining? Sin theta by 4 cos theta. So H by R is equals to sin theta by cos theta is tan theta, that equals to what? 4. That implies tan theta is equals to 4H by R. So this is the relation between theta is equals to what? Tan inverse of 4h by r. So we can get it out that if I want height and range should be same. So to get, if h is equals to r, just assumption that h is equals to r, then theta is equals to tan inverse of 4. If you project with this angle, then height is equals to range for any projectile irrespective of velocity. So it completely depends upon what? Angle of projection. So when you project at an angle of tan inverse of 4, then height equals to what? Range. So these three questions are very important for 3 marks question of this chapter. What are they? We discuss height. What is height? The maximum distance traveled by vertical distance traveled by projectile is called what ma? Height. Is it right? Sorry. The maximum distance traveled by projectile is called what? Height. Height expression is what? H is equals to u square sin square theta by 2g. Next, the time in which a body remains in air is called what? Time of flight, and the expression for time of flight is what? 2u sin theta by g. And the last, range. The maximum horizontal distance traveled by projectile is called what? Range. Range is equals to u square sin 2 theta by g. So please go through the video without fail.